slug reverb tail is always a nice way to send things off, at least in my opinion. Hi, I'm Colglazier, and you just listened to my track. And I showed a lot of it visually, breaking down the track, but no one really wants to hear me talking on top of the track, so I'm going to give kind of the audio part of that here, and you can slice this together or go back and forth as you please. I created this track with three main creative constraints. First, and most obviously, I wanted to only use the Loopop sample pack. Second, I wanted to do everything in the box. No external hardware, no external sequencers. And third, I wanted to do everything in BitWig using only BitWig devices, instruments, and effects. With those creative constraints, I came to some interesting things within my creative process that I wanted to discuss here. First was how I used different layers from kind of my main synth sound. I took different layers, all three of them actually, from the Hydra synth, and put them together. In some cases I like the tail, in some cases I like the attack, and I could use the built-in envelopes and BitWigs as a sampler in order to do that. In some cases I also like the low end, but didn't like the high end, and the sampler also has a built-in filter that I used to the same effect. Second, I like to make the track kind of danceable but unpredictable, and a main way I did that was using drums. One of the things that I enjoyed from my drums was this little hi-hat glitches that you heard twice during the track, and these were created using a device in BitWig's grid. So the way that worked is I imported a bunch of hi-hat sounds into a sampler, and then had them have different select levels. Then I attached them to a sample and hold, so that each time they were triggered, they were a different random one. Then I had it all go through the same envelope at the end, so that they would sound a bit more cohesive and similar to each other. Another thing I used, and this you can't really talk about BitWig without talking about this, is modulators. For the bridge in the section, it kind of slows down to a single instrument. And I like that instrument a lot, but after about a second, it has this really ringing, pitchy sound come in, which I didn't like so much. So I wanted to have the filter close that sound off, but I wanted it to remain open and have all the frequencies for the initial hit. And I did that using a envelope modulator, and a thing that you can do in BitWig with these modulators that's super convenient for samples is do them a lot poly. You can have one modulator going to a bunch of different voices at once, and it's going to sync up the timing based upon when the note on event fires. So that can make it super easy to solve that problem that I came up with. Finally, probably the hardest creative part of this creative constraint was the reverb. BitWig's reverb is, it has particular uses where it's good, but I don't use it very often. And so in order to kind of make it sound a little bit better, oftentimes what you have to do with BitWig's reverb is apply tank effects. So this is kind of a way you can modulate the internal parts of the reverb. And what I did is I added a little pitch shift effect to give it kind of that shimmery sound that we all love. And I also added a delay inside the tank and a chorus inside the tank. So that's kind of how I overcame that problem. And these are kind of the ways I creatively used my DAW inside the box to build this track. So I had fun making this track, and I hope you had fun listening to me talking about making this track, but most of all, I hope you enjoyed the music. Thanks for watching.